is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
All right, welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up and maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. I don't know why that cracks me up every freaking time. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live, if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? It's totally free of charge. But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Greatly appreciate it. If you want to help support my channel, the description box below, very top link takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me, and I thank you in advance. And then finally, just underneath that, there's another link. It takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants to Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,600 members in the group. It is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants to Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied, I promise. Well, Giants got themselves a QB, right? Quarterback in the house. Now, without getting too carried away here and going on for a rant and blah, 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 and all that stuff, this should hopefully calm down somewhat some of the demographic of people out there who have obviously have had issues with certain characteristics of the Giants quarterbacks in the past. So this guy coming in has a different characteristic. It's not the same as the characteristics of all the other Giant quarterbacks. So hopefully those people out there can calm down a little bit, right? Giants will never sign a certain type of quarterback. Yeah, I guess we can kind of calm down with that, right? Yeah, so there you go. And I'm very, very happy they did. Brought him in. Now, once again, we ain't going to no Super Bowl, right? This could be really could be. I like this. I like this. I like you a lot. I like this a lot. Really do. We're going to talk about it. Be like a shortened down version here, right? Usually I go on for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. This will probably be under an hour or so, whatever. But this could really help the Giants out quite a bit. Now, I think it's like 2 years, $8 million, with up to $16 million with incentives. So, good, love it. It's like, I don't know what the incentives are. We'll find out as time goes by and all that stuff and everything. But, whatever. I don't know if it's touchdown related, yards related. If you go to all pro, if we go to, not the Super, if we go to the playoffs, whatever, so he's got some incentives in there, right? Now, as I said, now you don't know, is he going to be, fighting off, a QB on the sideline or what exactly? But, the one thing that I love about with him, now we got to give him some players to throw the ball to, right? I think we need, if we can get like one more guy, that would really help, really help, right? And once again, we're going to talk about that maybe, a little later in the program here about maybe getting him another guy, if you know what I mean. But I really like this. I said, once again, we're not a quarterback away from going to this, So whether we brought Rodgers in here, Wilson in here, Winston in here, whoever, we got Dan Marino out of retirement, brought him in. Yeah, weren't going to no Super Bowl, right? The thing I like about with Jameis Winston, okay, is he's going to make he's going to make things exciting, all right. He's got his dog to throw the ball to. We got Wandell coming back, right? I said, we really could use. Well, they got Dizzy in. Dizzy in? Yeah. they got they got Theo coming back. I'd like to see him maybe get another, if they could get another weapon. Once again, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit here. But the thing is with Winston, I mentioned this, I don't know, last time I think I went live is, we could be talking about a Giants loss. The Giants lost 31-28, and they lost because Jameis Winston threw 3 interceptions. Then the next week, we could be talking about a Giants win. The Giants won 31-28 because Jameis Winston threw 4 touchdown passes, right? He's going to throw you in a game. He's going to throw you out of a game. He's going to throw the ball. You're going to get some yardage. You're going to get some touchdowns. You're going to get some movement. It's going to look, I'm not saying we're going to be the greatest show on turf. Don't get me wrong there. But we should, be more productive or, as a little counteract. I mean, because being productive also means maybe not throwing as many interceptions, but we should move the ball, a little bit more than we have been in the past. All right, with Mr. Winston. Now we also got him here for 2 years as well, too. So, there was the 1 year. I think it was the 1 year he threw for 5,000 yards. He had 30. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, he threw for 5,100 yards 1 year. I mean, that ain't easy to do. That was with Tampa, 2019. It was in 16 games. He was 7-9. Let's see, has he ever? Yeah, 1. Okay, all right. Two of his years that he was had a starter. He had winning records. 2016 he was 9-7. In 2021 he was 5-2. Okay, but in 2019 he threw for over 5,100 yards. Once again, not easy to do. But that was also the year he threw for 33 touchdown passes, but 30 interceptions. Could you imagine? If Daniel Jones threw for 30 interceptions in a season, could you imagine how much we would be crucifying and massacring that guy? Right. So, I mean, with Jameis here, he has thrown 154 touchdown passes, but he's thrown 111 interceptions. His interception ratio is 3.5%. Now that's in the modern era. 3.5 is probably, is about almost double what you like to see. You like to get that down under 2. So, that was that 1 year when he threw 30. I'm sorry, hold on. So for his career, it's been 3.5%. So for his career, it's double about what you like it. That 1 year when he threw 30, that was 4.8%. So that's like almost triple of what you like. So, but once again, if you can ever grasp the concept of the offense, we got Malik to throw the ball to. Well, that guy Dizzy in July. Out. Who went? Yep. Well, you can see that, can't you? Because one thing, like with Saquon always had some injury. Had some injuries. With the Giants, he goes with Philadelphia. They hand him the ball 37,000 times. Absolutely doesn't even get an ingrown toenail. Absolutely doesn't get a cold. Absolutely nothing, right? And if Sirianni would have put him in the final game of the season, he would have set the Russian record, right? So we got Aziz going, of course. There, he won't get injured. He'll play in 17 games. Wouldn't it be funny if he breaks Michael Strahan's sack record? He gets 25 sacks or something like that. Wouldn't that be funny? Right. But I mean, the thing with us anyway, he was always getting injured. Right. So, but it'd be interesting to see if he winds up staying healthy, because he couldn't stay healthy here with the Eagles. But I love the Winston here. So now. I also saw where I saw Aaron Rodgers went to Pittsburgh, and I also saw a report that he left the building without a contract. So, I mean, I don't know. The Giants don't need him now. I mean, I don't know if he's got to go. I don't know. Where's he going to go? Right? The Vikings don't want him. Giants don't want him. Giants don't need him. Vikings don't, right? I mean, so he might be out of a job. So we'll have to wait and see. Same thing with Russell Wilson. Where's Russell Wilson going to go? Interesting to see, right? But Giants signing Jameis Winston on a 2-year, $8 million contract in a quarterback stunner. Now, the nice thing, as I said, I mean, it's only it could be up to $16 million, but if it's up to $16 million for 2 years, that means $8 million at the most, which is probably not going to happen. But I mean, as of right now, it's $4 million a season, not 4-0. Daniel Jones 4-0, freaking 4. Even if we do draft Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, whoever, if we move up or we draft one of those guys at 3, I think the third overall pick, I think is $8 million, roughly, right around there. So you figure we got Jameis Winston for 4. If we grab Sanders at 3, that's 8. So that's $12 million. Then you got Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan for about $1 million. Our 3 quarterbacks, which once again is not the greatest quarterback room in the world. I'm going to agree with that. But our quarterback is only position is only going about $13 million toward the cap. Not wow. I mean, you had Daniel Jones was 40. Then we brought Drew Lock in for 5. Then we had Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan for about $1 million. So it was like $46 million. All right. So this year, if we do draft Shedeur or somebody at 3, I mean, our quarterback room might cost $13 million at the most. If we pass, which we're once again going to talk a little later in the program here, on a quarterback at 3, and we take, say, Jalen Milroe, I'm cool with that. If they think that they can work with him and get him up to speed in a year or 2 or whatever, right? I don't think Jackson Dart's going to be there. I think they're going to have to want to jump him back into the first round and grab him, right? But if they want to take Jalen Milroe in the second round or something like that, right? Instead of taking Sanders, I mean, my God, our quarterback room is going to cost us about $7 million for the season. I mean, now you can really, that'll give us a little bit of extra, we'll have some extra salary cap, especially for next season and all and everything. So that could be really, really big. So bringing in Jameis Winston, his numbers may not be as stellar as maybe an Aaron Rodgers, but Jameis Winston's costing us $4 million a season. Aaron Rodgers was going to want $30 to $40 million, and neither one's taking us to a Super Bowl. So, right. To try to figure out why the Giants are hitching their quarterback wagon to the high wire act that is Jameis Winston, sprinkling a bit of common sense, and this is what you get. Giants really and truly are still setting their sights on the upcoming NFL draft to secure the most important position on the field. Or else, how about this? Giants, even after adding Winston, are not completely out on Aaron Rodgers. Well, all right. To the extent that they were ever actually in on Rodgers. For now, word came down Friday night that Winston is coming to the Giants on a 2-year deal worth $8 million, the Post confirmed. It sure seems as if the Giants got a bit more fun with this wild and wacky addition, and it remains to be seen where Winston fits in the depth chart, which is true. So, as there will be more quarterbacks arriving on the roster. I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe we bring in Russell Wilson. Who knows? Right? Maybe you got Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston battling out. Right? Winston is certainly not the Giants franchise quarterback because he is simply not that. He is also not Rodgers, the 41-year-old who is yet to say where or if he wants to continue his NFL career for his 21st season. Wow. Giants still want him and will not close the door on him even after the Winston signing. They did not feel comfortable waiting for Rodgers to make up his mind without adding an experienced quarterback. Before this, Tommy DeVito was the only quarterback on the roster. Rodgers remains a long shot. You don't know. If he does come to the Giants, Winston could be his backup. His contract is in line with a backup quarterback, which is true, right? And in that scenario, the Giants could still be interested in selecting a quarterback with the number 3 overall pick in the draft. that pick could end up being Shedeur Sanders, and there would be no pressure to get him on the field as a rookie with Rodgers and Winston ahead of him. Well, I mean, hey, I mean, you bring in Wilson, bring in Rodgers, you got Winston there. If you draft Sanders, I mean, now you got a ton of quarterbacks. Now you have like too many quarterbacks, right? Okay. It appears trading up to the number 1 pick with the Titans to get Cam Ward is a pipe dream at this point in the pre-draft process. Winston is the 31-year-old journeyman. This will be his 4th team. He was with the Bucks, the Saints, and the Browns. Now he's with the Giants. So this will be his 4th team. He can sling it with the best of them. Yes, he can. No question. At times finding his own targets and at times hitting the defensive backs on the other team and right in the hands. Now, that's what you're going to get. But the guy can throw the ball. We're going to get some excitement this year, right? Winston on his Twitter account posted, "Start spreading the news," followed by an apple emoji, signifying his coming to New York, to the New York market. Cole, welcome aboard, brother. Love to have you. The need for a new starting quarterback was put in motion last November when Daniel Jones was benched and released. Yeah, I mean, the Giants still going to need to find a quarterback, right? I mean, Russell Wilson, I don't think is the answer, for a long-term, Aaron Rodgers, no. I don't think Jameis Winston is either, right? The Rams never made a deal for Stafford, and Stafford wound up staying in Los Angeles. After that, the Giants set their sight on Rodgers, believed he was the next best option. That pursuit went nowhere, but that tale has yet to be told. Then, of course, the Giants brought in Russell Wilson and Joe Flacco, and then Winston. Why Winston over Wilson? The Giants, after meeting with both of them, felt as if Winston is a better fit. Plus, he's a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. He's like by $25 million a season cheaper. Giants, let's see. Around the NFL, Winston has a better reputation as far as a locker room presence, which is huge. Huge. Wilson has been in and out of 3 teams the past 4 years. The Steelers remain in the quarterback market and clearly have not made re-signing Wilson a priority. Winston is a free spirit who has an engaging personality and is popular with his teammates, which once again is huge. It's something. It's really, really, once again, that's not going to take the Giants to the Super Bowl, but you love to have a guy like that in the locker room without question. His 10-year NFL career has been filled with highlights and lowlights, and we're going to see them both next season without question. Last season, he went 2-5 as a starter for the Browns with 13 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. But, once again, in 7 starts, he had 13 touchdown passes, almost 2 touchdown passes a game. Once again, 12 interceptions. In 2019, playing for the Bucs, Winston went 7-9, threw 33 touchdown passes, and set an NFL high 30 interceptions that season. The last time he was a full-time starter in the league. He also threw for a league-leading 5,109 yards. Winston has 154 touchdown passes and 111 interceptions. The Bucs made Winston the number 1 pick in the 2015 draft. He's played for the Bucs, the Saints, the Browns, and soon enough, the Giants. So, once again, I like it. Once again, it doesn't take the Giants out of anything. Right? It doesn't take the Giants out of drafting somebody, number 3, a quarterback, meaning. It doesn't take them out of, because once again, $4 million a season. That's a back. What were we paying Drew Lock last season? 5. Again, Jameis Winston for 4. That's a backup quarterback. So, anything's possible. Anything's possible. This was kind of like a little bit of a shocker, right? Well, anything's possible. Next week, who knows? Aaron Rodgers could be in there next week. Wilson could be in there next week. Joe Flacco could be in there next week. Who knows? It's the New York Giants. It's a soap opera as the New York Giants turn, right? So don't count out anything, right? Especially even in the draft, though. But as I said, we're going to – sorry, buddy. Got to move my legs. My dog's trying to eat my legs. All right, buddy. There we go. So I like it. I like it. It's exciting. Like I said, it's not, we didn't get our quarterback of the future, right? But we got somebody who can sling it, and he's on the cheap. And if he winds up being a starting quarterback this season, as I said, we'll get some excitement. We'll get some good. We're going to get some bad. So all I got to say is welcome aboard, Jameis Winston, New York Giants quarterback. So for I guess 2 years, where it could wind up being we can even cut him after one. And it is what it is. But I like the signing. I like it. I like it. So now, right? So what would now? It's not Little Wayne. It's not Little John. It's Little Jordan. Not Michael Jordan, but Little Jordan Humphrey, who's not so little, by the way. But the Giants got the wide receiver, right? Little Jordan. Apparently he's played. He's not a burner, so he's not somebody who's going to be taking Slayton or Hyatt's spot. Okay, but he's 6'4". He's played in the slot. He said, right? So, but he's a taller guy. He's a good athlete, right? But once again, he said he's not like a burner, right? But so Giants got him and brought him in. Let's see what we got here. Now, he's been around for a little while. He's been around since 2019. He has 7 touchdown receptions in his career. Thing is, he only has 62 receptions. So basically, out of every 9 times he catches the ball, he scores a touchdown, which is really good. His best season, was this past year with the Broncos. Now, with Peyton, he's been with Peyton 2 times, Sean Payton. Right? He was with the Saints in 2019, 2020, 2021. Then he went to New England for 1 year. And then 2023 and 2024, he was back with Peyton with the Broncos. So his past season, all right, he got thrown the ball 45 times. He caught the ball 31 receptions, 293 yards, 9.5 yards of reception. He has 1 touchdown catch. Okay. As I said, for his career, he's played in 6 NFL seasons. He has 62 catches, so he averages 10 receptions a season. 3 of the years, he only caught a grand total of 5 passes. So we'll have to wait and see how the Giants wind up using him, right? He did say he does play in the slot, but he's 6'4". 225, 6'4", 225. Little Jordan. He's not that little. Let's see. Now, according to PF, now he has played some special teams though, not a ton, but he has played some special teams. Special teams. There we go. Special teams. All right. What's he got? Now this past season, he only played in 7 special team snaps, but in 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019, he played in the grand total of 82. So he has some, a lot on the kickoff return, a little kick recovery, a little kick coverage, and a little punt return. So, he doesn't play a ton, but his special teams grades are not bad at all. Not too shabby. All right. So he can play on special teams. So, a lot of it, if you're going to be on a team and you're going to dress, you want to be a contributor, right? You got to play special teams. Well, he can perform on special teams. Last season, overall, he graded out, according to PFF, that's all I'm going by, graded out at a 56.9. His pass receiving, I guess, whatever, was 55.7. His run blocking was a 62.4, not too bad. And his pass block was a 74.7. So he said he likes to mix it up. He said he likes doing the dirty work, as far as blocking and all, helping out his teammates. So that's good. But once again, he'd be on the cheap. I'm sure the Giants are going to be bringing in a bunch of other wide receivers. I wouldn't be surprised. Once again, we're going to talk about this, I think, in our next portion of the program. Right? Possibly bring in another wide receiver. So the Giants added some depth to the wide receiver room on Friday, signing Lil Jordan Humphrey. Humphrey had 31 catches for 293 yards and 1 touchdown last year for the Broncos. The 26-year-old signed a one-year deal, okay, with Big Blue. I'm sure it wasn't for a lot. Humphrey's played 6 seasons in the NFL with the Saints, Patriots, and Broncos. 6'4", 225 pounds, 62 catches, 770 yards, 7 touchdowns in his career. So basically, as I said, like 1 out of every 9 times he catches the ball, he scores a touchdown. That's not bad. So if you were to catch, say, 90 passes, he would have 10 touchdowns. He's not catching 90 passes, and he's not getting 10 touchdowns, but that would be the average, right? But, Giants brought back, obviously, Darius Slayton last week, and have Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson as their other starting receivers. Plus, also, we got Jalen Hyatt, too. So, I would love to see us add to that wide receiver room. Let's see. Giants have added some wide receiver depth on Friday. I'm Shifter. I'm shifty, reporting that the Giants have signed 6-year veteran Little Jordan Humphrey. The soon-to-be 27-year-old Humphrey is signing a 1-year contract with the Giants. It was career best 546 snaps on offense for the Broncos last season. Humphrey had a 6-reception game and 3 4-reception games for the Broncos last season. He has 62 career receptions and 58 regular season games, including 23 starts. Humphrey has only 76 snaps worth of special teams experience in his career, so he will be on the roster to compete for snaps on offense. But he did say he has played on special teams, so the Giants are led at wide receiver by Neighbors. You got Slayton returned to the team. Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt. So, it's not an overall extremely impressive. I mean, obviously, if we didn't have Malik Neighbors, this would be probably the worst receiving group in all football. If we didn't have Neighbors, thank goodness we have Neighbors. But we definitely need to add to it, whether it's this year in the draft or next year in the draft or the next year in free agency or something like that. We really need to add either another stud receiver or a good receiving threat of a tight end would be nice. Say per Pro Football Focus, 61% of Humphrey's snaps have come from the slot. 6-foot tall slot guy. Tall. Perhaps that leads him to challenging the 5'8" Robinson for slot snaps, at least in some downs and distances. Or, Humphrey and the other Giants receivers are still waiting, of course, to find out who will be throwing the ball. Well, looks like we have our answer, Mr. Winston, right? But maybe not so much. Humphrey's going to be competing with maybe so much Robinson for snaps, but when the Giants go 4 wide, right? You got somebody wide out over there. You got somebody in the slot. You got somebody wide out over there, and you got somebody in the slot, right? So if you got Malik Neighbors wide over there, you got Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot. You got Darius Slayton wide over there. You got Lil Jordan Humphrey in the slot over here, right? So when if we're going 4 wide, maybe he'll be the man. We'll have to wait and see, right? As I said, I don't wish it on anybody, even Eagle players. But injuries, right? Wan'Dale has gotten injured before, so if he does, get injured, nicked up, or something, miss a game or whatever, maybe Humphrey might slide in there in the slot. But once again, it's depth. He has experience. He has played some special teams, not a lot, but once again, he'd be on the cheap, right? So, once again, it's nice adding some depth and all that stuff. I'm still not over the moon I love Slayton coming back. Love it. I like Wan'Dale and I like Malik, right? But, we have to get somebody else in there. Really nice. Really, really nice. But so we add a little more depth. But, we're starting to get to the portion of the program here where possibly, unless the Giants bring in Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, which is possible, right? I think it seems like the Giants might be close to being done, maybe, with bringing in like big time, because usually that's the way it winds up working out, right? In the beginning, the first few days or first week, whatever, that's where the big guys come. A lot of the big heavy hitter free agents come, right? And after that, you start sprinkling in like $1 million guy here, $1 million guy, So, but once again, the Giants added some depth. So, but now brings up this question. So, now, do the Giants, because they got Winston in there, who can be a starter. You're not paying him to be a starter, but he can be a starter without question. Once again, we'll have to wait and see. Do the Giants bring in another veteran quarterback? Right? As I said, because as they said in that one article, Jameis Winston's getting paid back $4 million a year. It's like, it's like, you'll be our starter, and we're going to give you $4 million a year. It's like, in this day and age, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculously low. But, oops, sorry, buddy. Sorry, pal. I moved my legs. My dog's underneath me here. Sorry, pal. But, now we have our quarterback. Now, obviously the Giants kind of have an inkling of maybe how some type of an inkling how things might go. We kind of keep hearing all these things that Ward is going number one. The Browns going to need a quarterback at number two. Take a quarterback. So I'm saying, well, what happens if when number three rolls around, if there's no quarterbacks there, right? They said, did the Giants wait, or did they jump back into the first round with their second pick and maybe take Dart? Did they go wait to the second round or whatever and take another quarterback or something like that? Can the Giants afford to go BPA, best player available, at number three if it's not a quarterback? Because I tell you, once again, quarterbacks are always, they're their own little, I don't know how you want to call it. They're obviously different. They don't fit the mold of the best player available, right? Because if it's because according to PFF, that's all I'm going by. All right. Cam Ward is the number. What was he? What the heck number was he? According to PFF. They got him the 21st ranked player coming out in the draft. So they got 20 guys who they think are better than him, not a quarterback, right? And then Shedeur Sanders, I think I just looked. I'm such an idiot. I forgot. I think it was 47. Nope, 46. He's the 46th best player coming out in this draft. 46th. So, is taking him at number 3 overall, is that a little bit of a reach? Once again, that's PFF. It's all we're going by. If you took, basically, if you looked at PFFs, right? Let me find it back here again. Like we had. And you took, Braden Swinson, an edge rusher from LSU at number 3 overall. You just fold up the organization, sell it to somebody, and just forget about it. Just quit, right? Because he's the 47th ranked player according to if you took, I can't even pronounce that dude's name. I can't pronounce that dude's name either. Siobhan Ravel, a cornerback from East Carolina, who's the 43rd rank. If you took him at the number 3 overall pick, you just, once again, just sell the organization, just quit, sell it to somebody else, and just move on with life. If you're that stupid and all, right? But if you took Shedeur Sanders at number 3, it is a reach, but it's a quarterback. So, right? Same thing as with Cam Ward, right? They got him at the number 17th overall guy, 17, and he might be the number 1 pick in the draft, right? So, once again, If you took, let me say it, number one. If the Titans took it number one, let's see where we at. Kenneth Grant, defensive lineman from Michigan, who's the 17th ranked player. Right, Cam Ward's 21st. I'm sorry, Cam Ward was 21st. But if they took Kenneth Grant, a defensive lineman from Michigan, who's ranked number 17th overall, if the Titans took him at number one, they just close the operation, just sell it. If you're that stupid, right? Just move. You know what I mean? That would be unexcusable. Taking Cam Ward, who is, according to PFF, is the 21st ranked player coming out in this draft. Taking him at number one because he's a quarterback, you can make a case for that, right? That's a reach, but it's a quarterback, right? So. Like I said, but you don't know. You have no idea. Is somebody going to jump in front of the Giants, maybe make a trade with the Browns or something like that to grab one? Who knows? But it makes things kind of interesting, right? Because now can the Giants, because they got their quarterback. Well, they have a quarterback. My bad. They have a quarterback for 2 seasons who can throw the ball, who can throw touchdowns, who can throw interceptions still. But they got a quarterback for 2 seasons. They'll add some excitement to it. Can they go BPA, best player available, at number 3? If Hunter is there, now you're adding another weapon for Winston to throw the ball to. Or you're also adding a little something on the cornerback, right? Now if you got a Debo, you got Banks, you got Phillips, and you got Hunter. Ooh. Not bad, not too shabby. That's a pretty good cornerback group right there, right? Then you're talking, we got Tyler Nubin and Holland back there as your safeties. That would be a heck of a secondary. I mean, if you had to put like 6 defensive backs on the field, right? I mean, sometimes they got 3 safeties and 3 cornerbacks or whatever. You know, I mean, you might want to take one of the safeties and maybe put them up in the box or something. Like if you put 6 guys in the secondary on a D, you know what I mean? But or if you want with Hunter, right now you got yourself another stud wide receiver. So you got like a twofer right there. It's like, now is the guy going to play mostly on a cornerback or is he going to play wide receiver? You know, I mean, wow, right? Or right? Could you see? I mean, because guaranteed, no, I can't say guaranteed, but just the stuff I'm hearing. Now, could be wrong, but you hear a lot, once again, just stuff I'm hearing, that Ward got a good chance of going number 1. So if that's the case, you're guaranteed that either Hunter or Carter is going to be there at number 3. Just guaranteed. One of those guys is going to fall to you. Now, could you imagine Carter fell to the Giants? Ooh. Well, I mean, we just got Golston, right? We got Bernsey. We got Kayvon, right? Would they take maybe Carter, right? You can never have too many edge rushers. Boy, I tell you, man, if you did something like that, wow. Huh? Talking about an NASCAR package. Now, I don't know. Because then, there are a couple other guys. There's obviously there's the Genti, the running back. I'm not taking him at number 3, but there's Mason Graham, who's the 4th ranked player overall. Now, we got Hunter is number 1 according to PFF. Got Abdul Carter, who's number 2. Then they got McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona. He's number 3. So, but we got Mason Graham at number 4. Now, interior defensive lineman from Michigan. He was the number 1 according to PFF. The way they grade, he was the number 1 interior out of 895 interior defensive linemen. He graded out at number 1. Actually, the last 2 seasons. Now, once again, right? Michigan, Harbaugh maybe had something to do with that, but under Wink Martindale this past season, right? He graded out at a 91.1. The year before that, he graded out at a 90. right? Graham is shorter than ideal arms for an NFL interior defensive lineman. But outside of that, there's a lot to love. He is fast, violent, and relentless, right? And he can stop the run with great strength. He brings a high floor at all times and a high ceiling and flashes as a 3 technique defensive tackle for 4-3 front. Now, you know what I'm saying? If you put, get somebody next to Sexy, boy, that would be a nice front wall. Let me tell you what. You got Kayvon, you got Burns, you got Sexy that. You put Graham in there, that'd be a great front wall. I mean, that would be a fantastic. And then we still have our third edge rusher with Golston, right? But that'd be a great front four there. We shored up the secondary, right? You bring Graham in there, right? Or if you bring Carter in, right, in the first round, and there's supposed to be a defensive tackle class. Maybe grab a defensive tackle in the second round. Man, man, it'll be a good defense. Good defense. So the Giants, it'd be interesting to see where they kind of got to go on this. Are they going to go best player available at 3? Obviously, we still have today's the 22nd. Draft is the 26th, I think it is, 26th or 27th of April. So we still have over a month, right? Today's Friday. So the draft will be on a Thursday. So we have about 5 weeks. Just a shade under 5 weeks. Going to be here before you know it, though, guys. But a shade under 5 weeks for the draft. So in those next 5 weeks or so, it'll be interesting to see if the Giants bring in another quarterback, another veteran quarterback, or whatever. But it does leave the Giants with some options now, because Winston can run the team. He can be your starter. He gives the Giants some options. They can, as I said, maybe they can get Milroe. I'm not sure where he might wind up going. They can maybe draft another quarterback in the 3rd round or something like that. Maybe try to bring them in, and maybe Table can work with them, right? Also gives us next season as well, too, right? If we can't find that quarterback that we're looking for, maybe next season in the draft, we're supposed to be more quarterbacks coming out in the draft next season. So even if the Giants wind up, I'm just saying, say we want to pick next year's draft, say we wind up in the, picking 15th or 14th or something like that. Just saying. I don't know, right? But, that would, Giants might have a shot at maybe grabbing a quarterback, because it's supposedly, once again, right, supposed to be a nice amount of quarterbacks coming out next season, right, who might be better than this quarterback class. So maybe the Giants could wait around till next season. Who knows? I said, man, because if you pick a couple real good studs, with your first few picks or whatever like that, and put them on this team, it's starting to shape up quite a bit, right? Between this season and next season, right? Especially in next year's free agency, right? Because now, if we're not bringing in Rodgers or Wilson, we're not taking, because we have about $90 million next season as of right now, salary cap space. That's a lot of money. You can bring in another couple good studs. If we're not bringing in Rodgers or Wilson or something, who's going to cost us about $30 million, if not more, in salary cap space, because you bring Rodgers in, right? Just say, for argument's sake, he wants $30 million, right? There'll be $30 million this season plus $30 million next season. So next year, right? Instead of having $90 million, that $30 million is coming off of that. Now it's down to $60 million, right? But if you get Winston, right? You still have a ton of salary cap space for next season. And I said, then next season, if you maybe get your quarterback, if you don't get him this year, you bring in another stud or two in the draft. If they do another good job at drafting this season, another good job at drafting like the way they did last year, the roster could certainly fill itself out pretty well. I'm not saying we're going to be knocking on the Super Bowl door, but so it'll be very, very interesting. I said, because now we have a quarterback, okay, who can run the offense, throw the ball, sling the ball, throw you in games, and also throw you out of games. So the Giants could possibly go BPA, right? Maybe with Graham, Hunter, or Carter, maybe at number 3. Very, very interesting to say. And then just some more good news here. Now, a lot of times, PFF doesn't give the Giants a lot of love, and understandably so. And, yeah, I can understand that. But PFF puts the Giants, this specific Giants unit, as the top 5 most improved after free agency so far, right? And, hard to argue with them. I mean, we brought in, what do you get? Yeah, right. We brought Slayton back. We brought in quarterback. We brought in offense. We signed a couple offensive linemen. It didn't make us that much better. We brought in some guys on the defensive line. A lot of the guys were just like, some depth, right? We brought Golston in, all that. But, but what we did with the secondary, we between a Debo, a quarterback, corner back, right? And then Holland at safety. Giants hit it out of the park with that, and PFF agrees. PFF's most improved units after free agency, after the first couple of weeks, for the most part. There'll be free agents being signed up until the first of pretty much the week before football starts, right? But as of right now, after the first couple of weeks, with the dust now settled on the first wave, right, of free agency, members of media have been taking a look at which teams helped themselves the most since the start of the new league year. Pro Football Focus Max Chadwick recently released his list of the top 5 most improved units across the NFL, which features the Giants secondary. I'll go over all 5 of them. Giants did not wait long to address their defensive backfield. No, so you gotta give. We still, it's one of the things. We still need a quarterback, but we got a good secondary. Hopefully, moving Banks over, that'll be cornerback number 2. Hopefully, might light a fire under his butt. Maybe he'll perform a little bit better. The new secondary coach we got, hopefully maybe can get him to play a little bit better. We'll have to wait and see. But then again, if we draft Hunter, right? Right? If Banks, flails around, maybe Banks might be on the bench and we put Hunter in there. Now we still got a good secondary, right? But, you got to really be happy with the Giants. And they're young, too. Young. With Newman, Holland, Debo, Banks, and Phillips. Young. Very, very young. So, right? With Kayvon, Burnsy, Sexy, Bobby Akarake, Mike McFadden. We got a young defense, I said if we can add another piece or a couple pieces to the puzzle in this draft, a couple more young guys, let's see. I'm not saying we're going to be a top 5 unit or not like that, but we'll have a nice defense. We should have a nice defense. Just got to stay healthy though, right? Debo has started 51 of 52 games over the last 4 seasons, and after recording a total of 10 interceptions and 43 passes defensed, the 25-year-old has developed a reputation of being a ball hawk. 25 years old. Fantastic. 6'1", 192-pound corner has at least 3 interceptions in 3 of his 4 seasons. Just his rookie contract is up. Now for him, it's paying dividends for him, but his rookie contract is his 5th season. 25 years old. Man, love it. Let's see. His last 2 campaigns, he has 7 picks to go along with an impressive 28 passes defensed. He was able to rack up 3 takeaways in just 7 games last season before his broken leg cut his season short, but 3 takeaways in less than half the season. So at that rate, he was on pace for about 6 or 7 interceptions on the season, which obviously is fantastic. While his 18 pass breakups in 2023 were the 3rd most in the league. And this is going against top-notch players. Right? Debo wasn't the only major acquisition for the Giants secondary. They also added Javon Holland, one of the top safeties to hit the open market. which PFF's Mason Cameron deemed one of the top 5 perfect scheme fits from free agency. Love it. The 6'1", 205-pound safety has played in 60 games, 57 starts across his first 4 seasons with the Dolphins. His career totals include 301 tackles, 219 solo, 5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, 10 quarterback hits. I mean, so he can get to the quarterback, right? If you let him go, if you send him, if you blitz him, he knows how to get home. He has 10 quarterback hits, 5 interceptions, 25 passes defensed, 5 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries, and 1 defensive touchdown. Most importantly, Holland has been one of PFF's top safeties in coverage over the past few seasons. His presence in the defensive backfield should provide a boost to everyone else in the secondary. And it was 2 years ago, I think he graded out a 90. A freaking 90. Whew. With none of the starters from the secondary topping 26. It's unbelievable. Really is. I mean, you got to give Shane some credit there, right? With none of the starters from the secondary topping 26 years old. Once this season comes around, the young nucleus of defensive backs will have the opportunity to grow together as they enter their prime years. Now, I'll go over the other groups in just a second, but you figure, right? And now, of course, you don't know how long we're going to be keeping Banks around. You don't know, right? You don't know. We're going to pick up his 5th-year option in a couple of years. If he's their second cornerback, you don't know. But, I mean, we signed Debo, I think, to 3 years, right? We got Holland for, I think, 3 years. Newman, we got him for another 3 years, right? 4 years, right? He played once, so we got him for 3 more years. We got Phillips for at least another 3 years. Flott, I think this might be his last season. We could maybe certainly bring him back, right? But at least for the next, and the same thing with Banks. Now, Banks, we'd have to pick up his 5th-year option. I don't know if we're going to do that. But we got Banks for at least another 2 seasons, right? So, 4 out of the 5 guys that the Giants have as starters this season will be around for the next 3 seasons. And they're all young. And we can always re-sign them if things work out well, right? So let me go over the other 4. All right, so we got here. 2025 NFL free agency, the 5 most improved units, according to PFF. That's all this goes by here. Arizona Cardinals, their defensive line. Cardinals have had the 5th lowest graded defensive line in the NFL last season. In response, Arizona invested nearly $125 million in their defensive front. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but so the Cardinals' defensive line got well improved. Chicago Bears' offensive line. There hasn't been a single position unit that has been upgraded more than the Chicago offensive line. It was clearly a priority for new head coach Ben Johnson as the Bears traded for a couple of guards in Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson. The former has been one of the 10 highest graded guards in 8 consecutive seasons. So then the Minnesota Vikings offensive line, they got Freeze, right? We were going after him too, but he wound up settling with Minnesota. The Vikings are seemingly entering 2025 with J.J. McCarthy as their starting quarterback, and they want to protect them, right? Minnesota's attempting to help out last year's top 10 pick by investing in its interior offensive line by adding a couple of former Indianapolis Colts, right? Let's see, Ryan Kelly takes over at center. So they let Bradbury go. And the Vikings also added guard Will Fries. Or Fries. It's Fries, I guess it is. So, as I said, the Giants were going after Fries as well, and they wound up taking Minnesota. Can't blame them. The Washington Commanders supporting cast on offense. Okay. While it's not necessarily a specific position group, the Commanders have done an excellent job of surrounding franchise quarterback Jaden Daniels with a better ecosystem. Washington solved its biggest issue at left tackle by trading for Larry Tunsil. Can't beat that. During his 6 years with Texans, his 92.3 pass blocking grade ranked second among all qualifying tackles. I mean, that's just freaking ridiculous. The Commanders weren't done, though, also trading for Deebo Samuel. Since 2021, the former San Francisco 49er has 92 forced missed tackles after the catch, which is 19 more than any other wideout. He's battled injuries and his play has dipped a bit last year. But Samuel is a perfect complement to Terry McLaurin. So you got to watch out. They got a nice dynamic duo going on there, especially if they can stay healthy. That's going to do nothing but help Jaden Daniels. So after making the NFC Championship game, Washington is rightly going all in while Daniels is on a rookie contract. Absolutely. I mean, that's what you want to do. You got your quarterback in the future. He's on the cheap, right? I don't know what he's costing him. I mean, maybe $8. Yeah, about $8 million. So, I mean, you got your starting quarter, and then you pick up his fifth-year option. Might cost him $20, $25 million or something like that. So, for 5 years, he's on the cheap. Push everything into the middle of the table. Get all the pieces and the parts around Jaden Daniel. He took him to the championship game last year. Let's see if he can maybe bring him a little bit farther this year. Who knows? But then, worse than the Giants secondary. That's their other one. The Giants had the 6th worst coverage grade in the NFL last year and emphasized fixing that through free agency, signing Javon Holland and cornerback Paulson Adebo to deals totaling nearly $100 million. Holland is a perfect replacement for Xavier McKinney, who departed last year for the Green Bay Packers. Since entering in the NFL in 2021, Holland's 91.3 coverage grade ranks tied for 5th among all safeties. Adebo is coming off a bit of a down season, but in 2023, he was one of the 15th highest graded and most valuable cornerbacks according to PFF's win above replacement metric. Whatever the heck that means, I have no idea. But, without question, the Giants certainly upgraded their secondary. So they did a fantastic job. I said, not only did they upgrade it, but they kept them. The guys are young as well, too. So really, really good. So Giants got themselves a new quarterback. Now they're going to bring in another veteran. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Or they're going to wait until draft night to take another quarterback. And if they do, they're going to take it at number 3, or they're going to wait to the 2nd round or the 3rd round. We'll have to wait and see. Tune in as the New York Giants turn. All right, guys, been 57 minutes. Whoever spends any time listening to me live, thank you, thank you, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.